Hey everybody, Curtis back. I'm in my garage and I'm giving you guys another review. Today's review is on the Tru Grit Power Bar. We're gonna take this nice and easy, and you can check out the timestamps down below if you want to fast forward to different parts of the video. But here we're gonna cover what it is, the quality of construction, maybe some potential feedback I have for Tru Grit, as well as my training notes, and we will wrap the whole thing up with total cost and my final opinion. But the first thing that we're going to talk about is what the bar actually is. And what it is a bar with an identity crisis. So this is a labeled power bar. It is 28 millimeters in diameter, weighs 45 pounds, and has a 205,000 PSI tensile strength. Inside the sleeves, we have 8 total sets, 4 sets per sleeve of needle bearings that provide the spin for that sleeve on the bar, as well as this being a zinc coated bar. And I will note that this is a matte colored zinc coating, which we'll get to in just a little while. Each of the sleeves have 16¼ inch of loadable sleeve length. The total bar length is 86½ inches long. It has very passive knurling, and I'm talking very passive knurling. It does have dual knurl marks, both for your powerlifting and for your weightlifting, which does speak against this being a power bar. And it also has no center knurl. I did weigh this bar, and this bar weighs right at 45 pounds and 3 ounces, which is well within the 1% of the indicated weight. And there is a 1% guarantee, so this is a really good thing if you're looking for a 45-pound bar. It comes with a 1-year warranty. And on that warranty, if you buy it from Tru Grit at the link down below, you actually get to deal with Tru Grit's customer service. It is available at a couple other retailers, to include Walmart, which is where I got this one, as well as Best Buy. But just as a note, if you buy it from Walmart or Best Buy, if you have an issue with the bar, you do have to go through Walmart or Best Buy customer service. So now that we've broken down what the bar is and we've given you all the facts, I want to give you guys my opinions about the quality of construction. Right off the bat, I'm just going to say this is a very well put together bar. It's very well constructed. It is an import bar, but when you're using it, it really doesn't feel like you're using an import bar, or at least like a lower end import bars, because what we're seeing more and more is that a lot of the import bars are meeting or exceeding a lot of the specifications. Now, as a quick note, when I say import, I do understand that there are some very high-end manufacturers that are not American made. I'm not referencing those ones. Now, the website claims that this is a stiff bar. I'm sure that what they mean is stiff-ish, because although it isn't as stiff as a powerlifting bar, it isn't quite as whippy as, say, a Olympic weightlifting bar. I do have a 28 millimeter Olympic weightlifting bar from Rogue Fitness, and that one does have more whip than this, but really not by all that much. The way that I would describe this bar is really less of a powerlifting bar and more of a overall strength and conditioning barbell, similar to something that you'd see with like the Rogue Ohio bar or the Blue City bar. Basically, a lot of those bars having the dual knurl marks, having that little bit more whip, more passive knurl, as well as 1 millimeter less diameter on the barbell shaft. Now, the knurl on this is actually fairly passive, and when I say that, I can't tell you enough of how under aggressive it is. This bar is so unaggressive that even when I grip it as hard as I can't actually see any knurl marks imprinted into my hand at all. Just because it's not aggressive doesn't mean that it doesn't offer grip. Now, it does offer quite a bit of grip, and it takes chalk really, really well. So although it isn't aggressive, it does offer a lot of grip, and it does enhance the bar. I do think that this is something that's more geared towards people that don't like aggressive bars, but again, that goes against it being called a power bar. Over the top of that knurling, we have this black zinc coating, and I really, really love the black zinc coating. I would describe it as it looks like Cerakote. Basically, imagine a very thin Cerakote. However they're doing this particular coating, more manufacturers need to follow suit if zinc is going to be the way that they go. And additionally, it seems like it's aging pretty well and standing up to some abuse. And I have been giving this bar plenty of abuse. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen the video of me in the PR platform grinding a bar along a set of safeties, doing a lat pull. And this was the barbell that I used in that video, and I I can tell where I did it, but honestly, any barbell I would have used would have shown abuse. Now on that, about 4 inches into the sleeve is where the coating actually stops, and when I tear down the sleeves later in this video, you guys will be able to see where that coating does actually stop. Inside the sleeves, there was no oxidation on the shaft itself, and overall the packaging arrived pretty beat up, but the bar itself was in really good condition. Now when it comes to sleeves, and this being a needle bearing sleeve, it does rotate forever. I would actually say that this rotates on the same level as my Rogue Olympic lifting bar, which is really good. It does have a bushing on the inside, but inside of each sleeve, there are 2 sets of needle bearings, 2 sets here, sorry, a pair. There's a pair of needle bearings in the end of each sleeve. There's right about here, there's 2, and right about over here, there's 2. Now on the sleeves, they are ribbed, and I know a lot of people apparently hate ribbed sleeves. I usually don't, but I will say that these ones are a little bit extra grabby. Now in some cases, that can be really good, especially when you're doing Olympic weightlifting movements and you're gonna be dropping the bar from overhead, or if you're doing deadlift and the plates have a tendency to shake loose. With this bar, I don't know what it is about the ribbiness. I actually measured the diameter of the bar itself, and the diameter is the exact same as basically every other barbell that I have here. But for whatever reason, the way that they turn these ribs, it grips those plates and those collars just a little bit extra tight. So real quick, I'll do a sleeve breakdown just so you can see what the internals are made up of. One thing unique about this needle bearing bar is that it does actually have snap ring construction, which means that you can take it apart. A lot of other ones do not have snap ring construction, and you can't really take them apart. So we have the outer snap ring. We have the branding, and the branding is a really thin plate, which is actually really similar to another import bar I have. Underneath that, there's a little plastic disc. That is often a pain to get out. Plastic disc. This reveals the inner snap ring. Inner snap ring. So at this point, we can push the bar back, and we have the outer spacer. There is a slight amount of oxidation on the outer spacer on the inside, but it's really not that big of a deal. That falls under normal bar maintenance, in my opinion. Push it for a little bit more. And we have what would normally be the half moon spacer, is this kind of 3/4 C-shaped one, followed by 1 set of outside bearings, and you can just pull it off. So here's our 2 sets of needle bearings, and they're just stacked side by side in that order. Followed by the sleeve, which the inside of the sleeve is actually a little bit dirty, but really not that bad. It's nothing that's alarming. And then here we see the actual shaft of the barbell. And you can see about 4 inches in, that's where it kind of fades out and it goes to bare steel. You can also see where the bearing rides, where it is finished right here, which is nothing out of the ordinary. But just because the inside of this is bare steel, if you live in a humid area and you notice that this bar starts to not spin as well, just break the sleeve down, clean off any oxidation or gunk that may be in there, and put it back together. All right, so basically when it comes down to my improvements, it's let's rename the bar. It's not a power bar, and calling it a power bar is actually really deceiving. It doesn't meet basically any power bar specifications. So outside the Texas Power Bar, which is a 28.5 millimeter diameter, almost every other power bar is 29 mils in diameter, which gives it a little bit of extra stiffness. Additionally, most power bars have a center knurl. That's the same knurl as the outside. And the outside knurl, as well as the center, is very aggressive. Maybe not very, maybe very is not a good word, but it has aggressive knurling. This is nice knurling. It's not near as nice as my Rogue bar, but it does offer a lot of grip, and I think it's really well done, especially for people that don't like to have aggressively knurled bars. Additionally, it has dual marks, which a power bar does not have. So pretty much it doesn't check the box for a power bar at all, outside of it weighing 45 pounds, which most powerlifting bars weigh 20 kilograms. But that's basically it. Change the name, remarket it as a multi-purpose bar or a CrossFit style bar, and this thing is going to sell awesome and perform very, very well. Now that I've told you about my potential improvement that I think that they should make to the bar, I'm gonna move on to my training notes. As I mentioned earlier in the video, I think this is a very good weightlifting bar or a general purpose bar. And when you use it for weightlifting movements like the clean and jerk or the snatch, if I could really do them all that well, it performs very, very well. It doesn't flex quite as much as a 28mm Olympic lifting bar does, but it does a really good job. It feels great in the hands. The passive knurling is grippy enough that it really allows you to perform some decently heavy weights. Additionally, for those weightlifting movements, especially like the clean and jerk, not having the center knurl is a very nice thing. The dual marks are very easy to see. They terminate very well. There's no dual track knurling anywhere on this bar, and it is constructed incredibly well. For push press, the bar is very grabby. It feels very good, and it does again have that little bit of whip that I've come to expect from most multi-purpose bars, which I think during a push press, having that little bit of whip is actually a very nice thing. The bar also works very well for a lot of the other strength and conditioning movements I do, such as when I use my Henny attachments, or if I'm just doing shrugs or just general weight movements. The bar performs very, very well. Now for powerlifting, I think that's where this really starts to kind of tank, which is a shame because they call it a power bar. Squats were actually really good. The bar really isn't all that whippy, so it performs pretty well for the squat. I do miss having a center knurl on the squat. To me, that's something that I really like to have. I like to have that little extra grip on my back, but the bar actually performs pretty decently overall. Deadlifts, I will say that if you're looking for something that gives you kind of a deadlift bar feel, but you don't want to buy a deadlift bar, this might be a really good option for you because it does start to flex a little bit and you can kind of get a similar training effect. Bench, it works really well. The knurling is a nice amount. I do prefer a slightly wider bar for bench. For me, it's a little bit easier to center over my radius and ulna, but it wasn't that bad. Finally, I'm going to break down cost. And that's where this bar gets even better. So at $285, this bar arrives to you shipped, which is an amazing deal. Now you may have to pay tax in most states, but outside of the tax, you're not gonna pay any additional fees. But there's more. If you are a military member, you can sign into the GovX account, which is linked on their website, and it gives you a discount, and it is a significant discount of 25%. That takes about $70 off the bar. Now you're still gonna pay the tax and you're still gonna pay shipping at that point, which for me was $20, but still you're looking at a total cost off the bar of $50. And at $285 to start, that's a really good deal. This bar is great. If you're looking for a general purpose bar, you're into CrossFit, just general weightlifting, you wanna start a garage gym and you want a bar that is budget, but also quality. This is a great bar for you if the specs are everything that you want. If you're a power lifter, I honestly would look somewhere else. But basically, outside of being a power lifter, this bar will be great for most garage gym owners. But that's it. You guys let me know what you think in the comments down below. I appreciate each and every single one of you that watch these videos every week. And remember, when it comes to your garage gym, you should always make it better, awesome, and of course, badass. I'll see you next time.